Congressman Adam Schiff, the ranking Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, joined me earlier to talk about all of this from Washington. Congressman Schiff, welcome to the program. So I want to know what you precisely are asking of Facebook, Cambridge Analytica right now. Are you calling on Mark Zuckerberg or the head of Cambridge Analytica to come and testify before your committee?
Yes, I think that we ought to have the testimony not only of the Facebook CEO, but I think the CEOs of other major social media platforms that the Russians exploited during the campaign. We heard from their general counsel at an open hearing earlier last year, but we've learned a lot since then, and I think there are a great many more questions that need to be answered. In particular, concerning Facebook, these allegations about Cambridge Analytica are deeply distressing, that the private data of 50 million Americans may have been misappropriated and used in an effort to manipulate them during the election. We have invited the whistleblower, Christopher Wiley, to come before our committee. He has accepted that invitation. So even though the Republicans have shut down their efforts, we're continuing because these questions simply need answers.
Are you saying, Congressman, before I play you a soundbite of what Christopher Wiley told CNN last night, that if you were to have these testimonies, that it would just be the Democrats, or would the whole committee, bipartisan, be operating?
Well, we invited Christopher Wiley, the whistleblower, to come and testify before our committee. We will invite the Republicans. I don't know whether they will participate. They're continuing to investigate the State Department, the Justice Department, the FBI. It's not as if they've lost their appetite for investigation. They just don't seem to be particularly interested in investigating what Russia did, what the Trump campaign did, or answering, really what we were charged to investigate. But they will be invited. In terms of the CEOs, I really think that has to be done at a full committee basis. We hope that the Republicans would join in requesting that testimony. But it ought to be, frankly, an oversight issue not just for the Intelligence Committee.
Congressman, with this incredible cascade of news about Cambridge Analytica, the election, Facebook, and the like, I just want to play you a soundbite, part of an interview that Christopher Wiley, the former employee, said to CNN last night, and particular because obviously we're talking in the context of Robert Mercer, who's a big Republican conservative donor, Steve Bannon, and Cambridge Analytica, all sort of around the same issue. This is what Christopher Wiley told us about it last night.
The company got funded in the spring of 2014, and he wanted to be able to have, a functioning program in time for the midterm. So, we had sort of Steve Bannon and a billionaire breathing down our necks trying to, go, where's the data, where's the algorithms, where's our, information weapons?
So that's pretty explicit, but I want to particularly ask you, because American law, election law, prohibits foreigners from directing, dictating, controlling, or directly or indirectly participating in the running of an American political campaign. Do you believe that was violated in this case, from the knowledge you have right now?
Well, it's certainly possible, and I think we owe it to the American people to find out. Look, Steve Bannon obviously was in very early in terms of the formation and political work of Cambridge Analytica. And the timing in which they got this Facebook data is essential to determine, did they bring on this researcher who had this relationship with St. Petersburg University? Did they bring him on for the purpose of getting this Facebook data in a way and with a speed they couldn't do it legally? What did the campaign know about this? What was the campaign's knowledge or involvement in this? Did any of this violate U.S. laws? These are certainly, I think, very important questions that we need answered. We had testimony from Alexander Nix before our committee, but at the Republican insistence, and even though he was frequent in the United States, they wouldn't allow for in-person testimony. They did it by video conference at a time when we had votes and most members couldn't participate. That was wholly inadequate. But even then, it appears that Alexander Nix's testimony may have been demonstrably untrue vis-a-vis the Facebook data. We need to find out. It's certainly inconsistent with what we're seeing from this whistleblower.
I want to know whether you think what Facebook has said in regard to all of this is a helpful matter or shoots themselves in the foot. Let me just quote to you Facebook's statement. The claim that this is a data breach is completely false. People know provided their information. No systems were infiltrated, no passwords or sensitive pieces of information were stolen or hacked. How does that sit with you?
Well, I don't know whether it's better or worse that the private data of 50 million Americans may have been inappropriately used, and it wasn't a breach. That may be, in some respects, a worse problem. But look, Cambridge Analytica had Facebook people embedded within its operation. Did these people know where Cambridge Analytica had acquired the data? These are very important questions that we need to get answers to, and I don't think we're anywhere near finding out at this point.
I want to know whether the US Congress needs to sort of get up to speed with Britain and other parts of Europe, which have more robust laws on privacy and which are actually doing more to try to ensure data privacy and that no breach or this kind of usage of people's data can be possible.
Well, it's certainly true, I think, that we have lagged behind in terms of the oversight that we've done in Congress. This is something that really transcends what the Russians did, but the broader issues are even more important, and that is, how was this private information acquired? How was the use of this to manipulate voters conducted? Who was knowing of this while it was going on? And even more broadly, what does this say about how Americans now get their information? How much can we rely on what we see, and how much are we seeing only that which the algorithms want to show us? Information essentially that we are choosing to see, and contrary points of view we are choosing to ignore.
Very important points which we're going to discuss with our next guest. But for the moment, Congressman Schiff, thank you.